So it's been an extremely slow news cycle for Sonic the Hedgehog. People have been asking the question, is there a new Sonic game coming in 2025? Well, the answer to that is yes. There's actually 2 new Sonic games coming. Some of you may not consider Sonic Racing Cross Worlds or Sonic Rumble to be a Sonic game, but yes, these are Sonic games. But I guess the real question is for some of the more traditional platformer fans, are we going to get a mainline style Sonic game? And I'm here to answer that question with some evidence today and discuss what I think Sega's plans are based off of some new information that's coming out within the Sonic franchise. Most notably, some really good numbers coming from Sega's end. In order to provide context to this discussion and also talk about some of the games that people think could be coming out, we need to do a little bit of backtracking. The hottest rumor for potential Sonic games that could be coming out is a potential Sonic Heroes remake. Just back in October, allegedly a third source has come out and said that yes, a Sonic Heroes remake is on the way. This rumor originally dates back to early 2024, and the alleged leaked codename for the project is called Project Guinness because Sonic Heroes holds the Guinness World Record for most playable characters in a game. As far as the credibility for this leak, now, you know me, I'm usually pretty skeptical about things like this. I believe, it's kind of escaping my memory a bit, but I think that the leaker behind this, I think they accurately leaked out a couple of things, but then some weird stuff was going on. Like, I think Sonic Rumble was correctly leaked out. Sonic and Shadow Generations, I think a couple of days before we got wind of like what the name was from the same source. But it's been something that's kind of been running wild amongst like several leakers. In addition to that, there was one other thing that kind of makes people believe that this leak is real, and that is the fact that the new Sonic Racing game, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, is on Unreal Engine 5. When people talk about the engine for what the new Sonic Heroes remake is going to run on, allegedly, it's going to be Unreal Engine 5, so it kind of lines up. Keep in mind, this has been a thing for a while. Sega has said that they're plotting to bring back more Sonic the Hedgehog reboots and remakes. I think this sentiment dates back to like when Sonic Colors Ultimate came out, or like not too long after it. They're saying basically, so long as the game's selling well and the IP is doing good, we're going to consider more remakes, remasters, whatever. And we have more information that leads us to believe that this is still going to continue to be the case. Sonic and Shadow Generations was extremely successful. They just did Sonic Origins. They just did Sonic Colors. We're almost running out of Sonic games to remake, but Sonic Heroes may be that logical conclusion. Most people want the adventure games, but I think maybe we start with Sonic Heroes and see where we go from there. The question of whether or not this is true or not kind of remains to be seen, but this is kind of like the sentiment amongst the community, or like the hottest rumor. The other potential leak or rumor or whatever you want to call it dates back to when Sega just released a trademark for something called Sonic Blitz. There's next to nothing known about Sonic Blitz, but it definitely doesn't sound like merchandise or something like that. To me, Sonic Blitz kind of sounds like some type of game. Maybe a fighting game, a spin-off, a mobile game, who knows? Speaking of mobile games, Sega also purchased Rovio for like $750 million. So Sega is definitely going to want to fully utilize Rovio. In addition to the fact that we're getting Sonic Rumble, which is developed by them, we know that more Sonic mobile games should be coming as well. Oh yeah, speaking of trademarks, back in October, Sega filed 2 trademarks for something called Sonic Jump, which technically already exists, which is kind of weird, and something called Sonic Spin Battle, which also sounds kind of like a PvP type of game. So there is something kind of there, right? There's a lot of unannounced and speculative stuff kind of floating out there, and there's like a little bit of meat to it, but at the end of the day, I'm more of a skeptical type of guy, so we're gonna have to wait and kind of see how all that stuff plays out. But that's where we stand today. It is currently May 13, 2025, and we're almost halfway done with the year. With that being said, let's talk about the new Sega financial report, which I think can help kind of steer the conversation. So when you take a look at the Sonic IP and what they got going on, they said that the sales for Sonic and Shadow Generations have been very strong, and they've also gotten strong repeat sales. So this would consider games like Sonic Origins, Sonic Frontiers, previous games that like go on sale on Steam. Pretty much it means like older games. Sonic Movie 3 was obviously a huge success with $490 million in the box office. Kind of sad it didn't get to $500 million, but that's okay. They distributed Knuckles, the live action TV series, and the biggest thing probably is they got a significant increase in licensing revenues, 140% growth year over year. And they were selected as a 3-star IP for Walmart's Entertainment Council program, whatever that means. If you take a look at the graph right here, look how much Sonic has grown. It says that the Sonic IP licensing revenue has grown nearly 10 times since fiscal year 2019. Their strategic transmedia strategy centers around games, movie, and the Sonic IP licensing revenue has grown dramatically because of this. So let's talk about what this means for 2025 releases for Sonic games. So as per Sega's financial report, they are planning to release fewer games in 2025. Why are they doing this? This is a new strategy shift where they will focus on strengthening their core teams like Sonic Team, Atlas, and RGG Studios. So essentially, we are going to get more emphasis on resources and development for the Sonic franchise, which is probably the best case scenario for us as the fans as well as Sonic Team. People have been asking for more resources and development into Sonic games. We've been asking for Sonic Team to hire more developers and also give us a bigger budget for the games. Sonic Frontiers is a game that I really like, but the problem problem is not everyone loves the game, and understandably so. There's some polish issues. There's certainly some things that were rushed. The animations could be a little bit better. The pop in the open world. A lot of the love and care that we got in Shadow Generations as far as like the polish was certainly absent from Frontiers. So if we could get the best of both worlds, like a full game that combines Frontiers and Shadow Generations together to give us a sequel for Frontiers, with all the budget and resources at Sonic Team's disposal, we're in for something big. As far as 2025 goes though, this financial report kind of indicates that what we got this year is what we got. Let me explain. Being that we only have 7 months left in this year and we still have 2 games that are slated to release, we have to think about the release window for these 2 games and then how could we possibly fit in a third one. The signs are pointing towards Sonic Racing Cross Worlds possibly coming between October 1st and December 31st. It's been spotted in the fiscal period 2026/3 in Sega Sammy's financial report, but we can't build up hopes for official confirmation. It seems like Sonic Racing Cross World is being treated as like a major pillar release for Sonic this year. Although it's kind of like a spin-off game, they have their own dedicated Twitter account, which is kind of big, which kind of also indicates there's going to be some decent post-launch support for this game. Live service, updates, DLC, whatever the case may be. We know that Nintendo is beating Sonic to the punch this year by releasing Mario Kart Worlds in June, so it makes no sense for Sega to touch anywhere near June with a 10-foot pole. They should release this game sometime around the holiday season, probably October or November, to kind of steer clear of that release date and let the game have its own launch date. Unlike Sonic Superstars and Mario Wonder, the games releasing within 3 days of each other seems to have affected them, and Sega has said as much. As much as fans like to doom and gloom about the release of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds compared to Mario Kart, there is technically some inherent value proposition in purchasing this game. 1, it's probably going to be cheaper than Mario Kart. 2, you don't have to spend $500 on a brand new system like the Switch 2 in order to purchase the game. Also, you might not be able to purchase a Switch 2 for a little bit. And 3, Sega has indicated that there's going to be cross-platform support, which means like if I could play on my PC against people who are playing on Xbox or PlayStation or Switch for that matter, there is actually a reason to buy this game over Mario. We also haven't even started the marketing cycle for this game yet. We haven't seen the Extreme Gear. We don't know the release date. We'll probably get a release date sometime during like Summer Games Fest or something like that. So we're going to have to wait and see what they do. With basically no marketing to speak of right now, I don't see how within the next like 7 months they release this game and then somehow release another Sonic game. Speaking of another Sonic game, there's also another Sonic game coming out, which is Sonic Rumble. Well, allegedly it's coming out. Sonic Rumble was slated to release 5 days ago, but there was a global launch postponement announcement, so Sonic Rumble is not coming out, and we don't even have a release date for the game yet. In theory, it's not good to rush out a game if it's not ready yet, but I feel like that more so applies to like a AAA game, like a Sonic 06, for example, not like a mobile free-to-play microtransaction game like Sonic Rumble, which by all accounts seems like it's already finished, and it seems like they're concerned about the long-term health of the game and the game not lasting, which is kind of like what I think. I'm not really sure how this game's gonna last that long if there's not really that much interest for it. That's a whole nother can of worms though, but Sega seems like they're a little bit concerned about Sonic Rumble, so I think they're gonna shift their focus towards making sure that they market it or whatever, and I don't think releasing a third game between now and the end of the year really falls within those plans. Sega seems to be banking on Sonic Rumble increasing their free-to-play revenue, and they're also banking on Sonic Racing Cross Worlds releasing and strengthening the IP as well, so I don't think anything else is dropping this year. Let's not forget what the next true Sonic game is gonna be, and that's gonna be Sonic and Shadow Generations for Nintendo Switch 2. It's gonna be releasing as a launch date title. When you consider the fact that one of the only brand new games that you can buy that's fully optimized for the Switch 2 is going to be a Sonic the Hedgehog game, that's pretty cool, and it's also a good game. The only problem is they're not offering upgrades for existing customers because, you know, money, but they're probably going to want to scrape whatever they can out of this game, and hopefully the Switch 2 is going to bring some more repeat sales for them. So the focus is probably on this and the other 2 titles that are launching. Unless Sega pulls a Bethesda and Shadow drops the Sonic Heroes remake, which I don't know, I just don't see that happening. Although the Oblivion remaster has been absolutely incredible. I've been sinking all of my time into this in my free time. It's been quite refreshing for the gaming industry for a project like this to drop for only $50 and be as successful as it is, especially with how much you get into the package with the fully remade graphics, while still keeping true to the game's core integrity. This is honestly the best example of how the gaming industry should move forward when it comes to remasters. But hey, listen, this game was also leaked out and rumored for a long time before it came out, so maybe Sonic Heroes has a similar chance, but I doubt it. As much as everyone likes to talk about the Sonic Heroes remake, I'm not necessarily a disbeliever, but I'm gonna need to see a little more proof. As far as Sonic releases, I would anticipate that 2026 is going to be the big year for Sonic. We are talking about the 35th anniversary. The 35th anniversary should line up with at least one remake or remaster. Maybe this will be the time where we get the Sonic Heroes remake. And then I think we'll also get either an announcement or a release for the holidays of an actual mainline Sonic game. Sonic Frontiers 2, if you will, or the Sonic Frontiers sequel. Never say never because there is a lot of stuff floating out there, but I'm going to go with we're getting 2 games released this year, Cross Worlds and Rumble, and then 2026 is going to be a big year for Sonic. Let me know what you guys think.